So much fun. We've got a really special guest for you today for Tony's Tuesdays Facebook Live. This is actually a Tony's Tuesdays YouTube Live. so we're trying out some new channel stuff going on. And I want to welcome my good friend, Nina Venturella. Hey, Nina.
Hi, Toni. Great to be here.
I've been looking forward to having you on the show because you've got so much great stuff to offer and you've got so many great ideas and your business is booming. And I just love welcoming you. And I'm excited that you're doing so well. So welcome to Tony's Tuesdays. How
Thank
are
you,
you?
Toni. I'm doing fabulous, other than some tech challenges that I've had this morning too. So it's all good. It's all good.
So yeah, I feel like we still have things to conquer because usually when you're on a desktop it goes straight to Facebook Live, and then
Yeah.
this time I'm on an iPad and it's like, okay, that's not even an option. You can go to
Yeah.
YouTube, but you can't go to Facebook. And I'm like, what?
Oh, it's hysterical.
All right, so we are recording, and the main reason for that, folks, is that I want us to be able to share this not only on Facebook, but YouTube, but also on LinkedIn and any other live streaming media that you may be going to. So a lot of our shows get actually repurposed during the year, and I love that we can do that. So Nina, I'm going to put you full screen because I'd love you to introduce yourself and
Sure.
talk to the audience. We got about 20 minutes, so we can have some fun with this.
Okay.
All right. So my friend Nina.
Hey, everyone. Great to be here. So, Toni and I met a little while ago and we started talking. We found out we had a lot of things in common. And one is that we both Christian. I'm a pastor and I live for Jesus. So that's the first thing I'll tell you. The second thing I'll tell you is that I am what you call a serial entrepreneur. My brain does not turn off. And I'm somebody who's learned to really adjust to circumstance, situations, and environments. And not by choice. Not any of it was by choice. But what I've learned is that I'm growing in these environments and I'm growing in these areas where I'm now able to help other people overcome areas that they don't have to overcome because I went through it. And I'm learning how to teach people how to really thrive in certain environments. And one of those environments is our new normal. And everybody says, oh, that's the new normal. Well, I truly went from knowing an industry, being an authority in this industry, being a leader in this industry, to going into something I've never done before once COVID hit. So I've been in the wellness space for 30 years, started out personal trainer, nutritionist, wrote a book in it, had franchises in this industry, created an academy, went household through this academy, through a lymphatic technique that the Lord gave me in 2006 for the lymphatic system called Extract. And it kind of took its own little course and God just blessed it immensely. And tons of graduates around the nation, became global and had a lot of great success and traveled like every 2 weeks. So that was my life for, 14 years. I was just kind of in the wellness space, and all of a sudden COVID hit, and the Lord speaks to me very directly. And he says, Nina, this is funny too. Let me just back up real quick. My husband at the time had a business for 25 years. He sold his business the day before COVID and retired. And we're in our 50s. And he's like, let's go ahead and travel. Let's get an RV and let's travel around. I said, that sounds great. Well, then the next day COVID hits and we're on lockdown. I'm like, oh, son of a gun. I can't do that now. That was like my dream. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll travel around and have fun and minister and do all these fun things. Right. But God had other plans. So people are like, well, COVID was a horrible thing. And it was in so many ways because so many people got sick. We lost people and things like that. But it's probably one of the best opportunities that I've ever seen for business. And what I mean by that is it's taken us to a place where we have to go deep inside of us and say, what can I do next? So many of us get set in certain things or situations or corporate jobs or whatever, and we think that's where we're supposed to be. And, it's our baby. We're not going to go anywhere else. Like I thought I was going to be in wellness forever. And then COVID hit. And I'm in the lymphatic system. If you guys know what the lymphatic system is, that's your armpits and your groins. Well, you think anybody's touching anybody in those areas at all when COVID hit? No, I mean, no body work at all was being done, right? So I went from, doing really, really well, growing a business to nothing. It just flatlined. And it was no choice of my own. I had no control over it. But remember I said, I'm learning how to thrive in environments. This is an environment that we all got thrown into. And I could have sunk or swam. And I decided I'm going to swim in it because My husband and I had these plans that got completely thwarted. I'm like, okay, now what do I do? So God always brings me back to 2 Kings 4. 2 Kings 4 is the woman with the oil. And the Lord says, what is your oil? And here's the funny thing. The way that I know God works in my life is he prepares and equips us for what's next. And it can be 2 years, 10 years down the road. I have no idea prior, because it's something that he wants to do for us in the future, right? Because he knows everything that we're going to do from now until all eternity. Well, he was preparing my heart for this change 2 years before this even happened. I had no idea though. He was starting to talk to me about intellectual property. And if you guys don't know what that is, that's basically, it's your own lane. It's called the blue ocean. It's what's uniquely yours that really eliminates all the competition. And I had something like that in the wellness industry called extract, which was the lymphatic technique. And if somebody wanted to learn that process, they had to come to me or all the people that I taught it through my academy. And so what that does is it gives you a nice edge. It builds authority very, very quickly. And it really does help you become the influencer that you desire to be within that industry. And so I had great success in that. And so the Lord was talking to me about 2 years prior and said, I want you to start teaching people what you do. Well, I'm thinking it's extract. But now I realized it was what I did is I took something that didn't exist and I took it from zero to hero. And so now I have this program that I take people from zero to hero within their own methodology through their own intellectual property. And so I started doing that when COVID hit. I started the day after. I went into my oil. That's what I know how to do. I remember the conversations that the Lord and I had years before. And I said, okay, well, then I'm going to teach people to do what I did for myself. So I went into the coaching space. I've been coaching healers for many years. I'm like, let me go into the actual coaches, like authors, and let me see what they can do. I'm an author. I know how to write books. I can help them get where they need to go. Plus, I've purchased programs myself for my own business, like how to get my book out there. So I hired a literary agent for thousands of dollars. And I went to workshops on how to be a public speaker and how to win stages through some of the top authorities. So I spent a lot of money on just self-development for myself, which I think we all should be doing because that's how we grow and we create other people's skill sets. But what I did, and the funny thing is I did it for myself to grow my business and really grow my brand, but I didn't use it for that. I actually took what I learned, tweaked it, and now made it my own as part of my own intellectual property. So what I tell people is you always have these different programs that people are buying and purchasing, but they never know how to really get an ROI from it. And what I found is, why don't we take what we've learned, put our own spin to it and make it be our own and let it be part of our deliverable and our skill set, because we already know how to do it. And there are people that have great, amazing skill sets out there, but if you just take it and make it your own, now you can actually resell it, so to speak, as part of your IP. So that's basically what I did. I took everything that I've learned over the years, plus how to do my own intellectual property and growing my curriculum and doing all these different things and how to do signature speaking and how to win stages. And I said, well, I'm going to do that for coaches. So I created something called the One Box Fits All program, where I basically take a coach or an author and I help them go from zero to a hero. I believe there are so many people out there that have amazing messages that need to be seen and heard that are not being seen and heard. And I want to level the playing ground. Why is it there's only certain people on the top that we always know? And I can name 10 people that you know that I know, but that's it. And the rest of us are just sitting here going, what do we do? We have all this amazing genius that God gave us. We're gifted. How do we get ourselves out there? So my goal was to bring those people to the forefront, lift them up, and change the dynamic of leveling that playing field so that I can get them to be seen and heard. And I did that with my One Box Fits All program. And I did a beta test because I didn't know if it was going to work. Never did it before. Did 6 figures in about 3.5 months. I'm like, well, this works. Took 25 coaches and I kind of launched this program. Then, because I know my background is franchising and licensing, is what I did in the wellness industry, I said, why don't I take my One Box Fits All and create a licensing program? So I did that as well. So now I have 2 businesses with 2 different types of revenue, and it all happened within 3 months because I took advantage of an environment that tried to take me down. And I said, no, I'm going to kick your butt and I'm going to do something with this because I'm here for such a time as this. If I'm here, I have a reason and a season and a purpose to do what I'm called to do by God. And so if he's telling me to take what I've done for myself, then I'm going to do it for other people. So that's what I've been doing since COVID started. And then I partnered with another company called Embark. And that was because of what I did with my first company. So now I have a third business, and I help scale business authors and coaches and entrepreneurs that want to have the authority within a book. And I help them write and publish their book. I help them leverage their authority through their intellectual property and their high ticket program that we create for them. And then I help them scale to $1 million with a guaranteed program where it's all based on performance of results. So this all took place since COVID.
I love it. And that's exactly what's been happening to so many of us, is that things have fallen into place that make sense now, where it used to be kind of fluffy. It's now pretty straight, but you're doing wonderful things. And you've really taken the concept from start to finish. I mean, you not only apply, because everybody knows everybody wants to have some kind of a book out there. I mean, that's kind of, especially boomers. That's how we were trained, is like, okay, you're going to go write a book, you're going to apply the book, you're going to develop a movement if you're trying to change the world, which most of our friends are, in whatever ways they can, whether it's creating, a elementary school in Africa, or whether it's creating water wells all over the world to get fresh water. There's always a movement, and our movement has been over the past few years to help others. And that's exactly what I love about our entire community, is that we're surrounded by speakers, authors, healers, coaches. And then I kind of make it a fraction. And the word underneath all of that is entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Because if you're not actually trying to make a business out of it, then it's your hobby. And there's nothing wrong with having a hobby either. You're just not profit driven, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And some people aren't. And I think that's what I love the most about this entire world, is that we've got a combination of both. But the one thing that we all have in common is that we're all asking, how can we serve? And
how can we make this a better place? How can we change the history? How can we make history? How can we change the culture? And how do we get it out there? And so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I mean, honestly, my husband did really, really well with his sale. I don't have to work. So it's not why I do what I do. It's not for finances. It's so that I can really it's so I can help other people make their mark and leave their legacy, because that's what I want to do. I want to create impact. And I want to help other people get that impact out there. And the only way I know how to do that is if I support those people. So if you're familiar with the 7 mountain culture, right? All the different 7 mountain cultures, the Lord spoke to me and said, you're going to be a part of all those mountains. So I'm like, how is that possible? I cannot be a part of all 7 mountains. I know I'm called the business mountain. That's pretty evident, right? And I'm a pastor. So obviously some of the religion mountain, the faith mountain, but here's what I can do. And this is what I'm doing, is I'm getting behind those people who have those callings in those mountains. So even though I'm not directly in those mountains, I'm indirectly, because I'm supporting them and helping them go where they need to go. And I also believe that I have gifts in me, like you do, that other people need. And that those people that come to me, if they come to me, it's because they're supposed to come to me, because I'm carrying something that they need. And I have a responsibility to bring what my gifts are, so that other people can do what they're called to do. Because we all need each other. We need unity, we community, and we have to come together as one. And there's not a lot of oneness going on right now. There's a lot of division going on right now in this world. And so that is, a house divided cannot stand. It cannot stand. So we need to come together in unity and community and make a difference and change the culture and be the history makers. And if we don't do it, who will? We can't just keep giving it to the next generation to do it. If we don't do it, it's going to keep getting, the buck is going to keep getting passed. We're never going to get where we need to go. We're never going to see the effective change that we want to make unless we all band together. And so I believe that coaches, authors, entrepreneurs who have amazing giftings, you have a right and a responsibility to get it out there. And if you don't know how to do it, get help, because there are people that know how to do what you need to do.
Yeah. And I love the fact that not only do you help them, but you don't leave it at the end of section 1. If you're going to write a book, get a book. If you're going to publish a book, get it published. If you're going to use your book as a workshop to help others learn what your theory is, what your implementation is, what your power is, you take it all the way from
zero to hero.
What is it? Soup to nuts? What?
Yeah, or I call it the 0 to hero methodology, which is literally you start from ground zero and you go all the way to the end, whatever that looks like. And remember, I told you I wrote my eulogy. So I'm like, well, what does that look like? I mean, why not? Why would you not do that? Because you've totally laid your groundwork. You've laid your blueprint of what that looks like, and you're working backwards. how else do you succeed unless you know where you're going? You're not going to take a trip and just get in a car and figure out where you're going. You're going to have plans. You're going to have a hotel. You're going to have a flight. You're going to have whatever you need. Well, why don't we do that with our life? And so that's what I do.
I love it. Nina, this is the time that we tell people how to get a hold of you. Do you have a gift? Do you want to acknowledge? Let's tell them how they can get a hold of you.
So if anybody wants to just explore some different options, one of the things that I do is I'm a gold digger. I love to help people find their gold and then, figure out what that looks like for them on the end result. But if you want to get a hold of me, then the best way to do it is just to contact me is businessboxnow@gmail.com. Just say, hey, I heard you on Toni, and we can chat. I have a couple of gifts. One is I have it's called a game changer program, where we actually build it out for you. We give you entire blueprint from beginning to end. So you have exactly what you need, that blueprint. And that is normally a $25,000 program. And we're going to give that to you for free. And I'll give you guys a link for that. Toni, I'll send that up to you. And then the other thing is I have a masterclass. It's a 3-hour masterclass that describes on how to write and publish a book, how to get your book out there, how to create a high ticket program, how to determine if you have the right IP, if you're scalable, if you have a solid 6-figure program, and if you are somebody who can really monetize. And it's three hours, amazing value. Make sure that you take notes. And then if you want to talk afterwards, just set up a time with me and we can go from there. So really emailing me and I can give you those gifts, no problem.
Guys, you got to take advantage of this. This is absolutely fantastic. I mean, I feel like I'm signing up for an MBA course in 3 hours.
Well, I got to tell you, as an entrepreneur, starting franchises and starting businesses from scratch, we actually offer guarantees where we can guarantee people $1 million in revenue in 18 months or less through this program called the $1 Million Book Launch Program. And it's for a fee. But the fee is a one-time fee and you never have to pay again. So basically you pay a fee, which is very, very, very minimal for a business to start up. And then you're guaranteed $1 million. I can tell you right now, there's no business that I know that will guarantee $1 million in 2 years or less. It doesn't exist. But we do a done for you, done with you program. So we're holding your hand the entire way. We got coaching, we got accountability, we got masterminds. I mean, we set up all the back end stuff for you. It's a plug and play system. It really is an amazing way to really scale your genius out there and become a household name.
Love it. It's a no lose proposition, you guys. You got to take advantage of this. So anyway, Nina, first of all, I want to thank you for being our guest today and for sharing your golden, what did you call it? The seeds.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm a gold digger. So I always look for people's gold.
Yeah, but you're a gold digger for us.
The good kind of gold digger. Right. I help find your gold and shine it for you so everyone can see it.
So Nina, where are you right now? And you were talking about traveling. So have you started doing that at all?
No. So we're in Boston. We're looking for a second home. So my husband's from Boston. We're looking for a place in New Hampshire, a lake house. We're going to get a place out here in Boston to be near his family. And then we're going to downsize our house in Palm Springs and get a smaller place in Palm Springs. So we'll get 3 locations. And then I can go wherever I want to go because I'm virtual and I can. And my husband's retired.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I'm sitting in Austin, Texas right now, and my daughter's home. So this is how we work. I mean, it's and sometimes we face the limitations of technology based because I'm not bringing my entire desktop with me, which is what I'm spoiled and used to, right?
Exactly. And I just want to say one more thing. If anybody's interested, we are doing a program starting tomorrow on LinkedIn Live at 12 o'clock East Coast. Just look under Tom Matson. It's under his name. And basically it's on people who have a 401k who want to roll over their 401k into starting a business. We have an expert from 30 years whose name is Stephen Cooper. He's going to talk about what that looks like. And it's a series. And we're going to talk about everything that you need to do to run and start your own digital IP business so that you can monetize in the direction you want to go with different ideas and opportunities.
Now, Tom is Matzen, correct?
Yeah, or you can look under my LinkedIn under Nina Venturella, and you'll have an invite there as well.
Love it. All right, everyone. So you've got your marching orders. You've got to listen to this. This is the way to do it. This is the right way to do it. I hunted and pecked for 6 years and tried to figure out the right thing and invested buku bucks in. I know.
Yeah.
But I think this everything that we scraped and tried and trial and error and everything that we went through, we've gone through for a purpose.
Yeah.
And it's to create programs like this where you don't have to do that. We can help guide you, and that's what being a mentor is all about, or being your own personal coach or your own business, team that you can run a business with. So feel free to reach out, and we'll give you the information. The links will all be below. And Nina, love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you so much.